Somebody asked, how do I deal with the R in Baybayin? If you are writing on a computer and you insist on using the R, there's the U+170D that they eventually added to create an R sound in Baybayin, but there's the much more readable U+171F that also is an R. I believe that one is from Pangasinan. But historically speaking, you know that there wasn't an R in Baybayin. So if you read texts, the R is just not there. And that is because the R sound in Tagalog is hidden in two different characters. Let's look at the first, la. So if you look at loanwords from different languages, for example, Spanish, you can see how almuerzo becomes almusal, azúcar becomes azúcar, bandera, bandila, pobre, pulubi, servir, silbi. Of course, as the colonial period progressed, eventually an R sound did penetrate the Tagalog language, for example, in relo, relo, sombrero, sombrero, caballero, caballero. But we also see this system with the R to L sound in other loanwords, for example, and please do excuse my bad pronunciation, the Bahasa Melayu buruk, buluk, siarmin, salamin, kurang, kulang, merunggay, malunggay, surat, sulat, tengahari, tanghali. This even applies to Sanskrit loanwords in Tagalog like bara, bahala, batara, bathala, sarita, salita, karunya, kalunya, paripusta, alipusta, pariplusta, alipusta, raja, laja, sampratyaya, sampalataya, yantra, lathala. Even some Tagalog words have versions that are quite common depending on the speaker, where you can see how the R and L switch, like gurang, gulang, harang, halang, karabao, kalabao. There's also the thing with barangay and balangay. Barangay is a governmental unit. This one actually is the exception where there's an official way to spell it, where the government will only use an R. So the balangay is thus associated with a large boat. This means that loanwords that are being introduced into the Tagalog language generally have the R replaced with an L. For example, the German name Reinhard would be Leinhard. This would actually be in line with other Asian languages. Now, there are some indigenous words where you can sometimes actually hear an R sound. And how does this happen? It is because the D and the R are allophones in Tagalog. So if a syllable starts with a D, but the preceding syllable ends with a vowel that does not have a glottal stop, then the D can be pronounced as an R. For example, in Nandiyan, you hear a D sound, but if you remove the N sound, you get Nadyan, and there Tagalog speakers tend to say Narian. Same goes for Nandito becoming Narito. That said, you will notice that there are words where this is pretty uncommon. For example, I have never heard somebody say Maramot. It's usually Madamot, but looking at how the Spanish spelled it back then as a surname, you can see how they used an R instead of a D. Hope this helps. One last thing, you can also follow this channel if you want to get updates or learn about Tagalog or know what's up with me. But also you can go to Steam or itch and wishlist Gulo Gulo, the Tiny Pirate Island Time. That would be grand. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.